Well, it's Sunday morning here at the workbench, Scale Models Midwest. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. Been off the past couple of weeks. Been working on projects outside of the house, but now those are winding down, so I was able to get down to the workbench, get it cleaned up, get some kits finished, and been watching some other videos over the past couple of weeks in my spare time, what little I had. Some questions have been asked. I figured I'll throw my 2 cents worth in. But before we do all that, I wanted to give it a nice channel shout out to a new kid in town, literally Mighty Modelshop Creations. I was turned on to this channel by Papa Dan and by Jeff's Model Car Garage, and pretty cool looking channel. He's only got a couple videos out, but from what we see, looks like he's got a good future both as a content creator and as a model builder. He's got a workbench set up next to his dad's and a wall of models just itching to be built. Currently on his workbench, he's got a really cool, I'm not going to spoil it for you, go check his channel out, but I like it because I'm into big cars and big engines, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does to that kit. Again, Mighty Modelshop Creations, go give him a look. So as you saw from the thumbnail, I have 3 kits to display today. The first one is from that AMT 2-for-1 kit. That's the 1925 Model T Ford. As you see, it turned out really nice. It's a kit with relatively few parts, but it comes together into a nice kit. It has a nice little 4-cylinder engine there. I thought I saw 4-cylinder engines in the old Fords being green, so I found something that closely matched that. And I remember the old adage that Henry Ford said, that you can get any car you want as long as it was black. Well, the box art shows you could do it in yellow. I like the blue, so I had a can of old blue paint and I figured I'd use that. And again, simple build, went together nicely, sits on all 4s. Nice little car from way back in the day, so that's going to look good up on the shelf. But it absolutely it's tiny in comparison to some of the other kits that I've got built. So if you're going to build this kit, have at it. It's a good, fun kit. I kept the turtle deck on. I do have the pickup bed, and I also have the up top for it. If I ever feel like changing it, probably not. But if I do, I still have them. They're painted and ready to go. Wanted to share that one with you. I thought it looked cool. The next one I have, of course, is the one for Dan the man over at 60s Rule, his Psychedelic 60s build. Now, this car is not as psychedelic as I've seen some people building, but like over, I think Time Machines has a really cool floral Pontiac that he built. If I got the wrong channel, my apologies in advance. But I wanted a nice little 60s car to build, and instead of a Mustang, I went on ahead with the Sunbeam Tiger. This was one of the oldest kits in my collection, about 30 years old, if not maybe a little older. As you can see, I did get the hood to sit down right. What I had found out was that my Parts by Parks pre-wired distributor was down as far as it could, but the plug wire stuck up still. So I went on ahead and just took, you know, real good care and pressed down on the wires so I could get that down. And then the only thing that was causing any kind of clearance issue was the air cleaner. So I am sanding the bottom of the air cleaner rather than the bottom of the hood. I didn't want to go into the hood and do that because this is rather thin and I didn't want to sand a hole in it. But with the air cleaner, it was thick enough. I can get the bottom shaved enough that I can put it right back on top of there, and the hood will fit just fine. This again turned out to be a nice sharp kit. You know, it's very simple, builds up nice. I'm glad I did not use the blocky front air dam. I think still that it would have ruined the lines on this car, even though the box art from the 70s release has it in yellow with the cafe racer look. If I were to build this kit again, if I had another kit like this, I want to figure out a way to build a roll cage for it. I'd want to find a way to sit it lower than it is, because it honestly to me sits higher than I'd like for it to. But looking at the way the chassis and all is set up, I don't think I could get it to sit any lower without really doing some surgery on the kit. and I just wasn't ready to do that with this old of a kit, and with the prices that this kit's commanding right now on eBay. It's just something I'll have to think of for another day, but still, it's a sharp little kit. I like it. And I'm going to take pictures of it and send it over to Dan. His group build challenge for the Psychedelic 60s is still on. It started January 1st and goes to March 1st. Go check them out, and if you haven't already, build a car from the 60s and send him some pictures and get it on his little album I think he's going to put together once all the kits are in and done. So looking forward to that. Again, Dan, thanks for that group build. This kit I liked. Thanks for inspiring me to build that kit. So I wanted to do that one. The third kit, as you saw in the thumbnail, I didn't even build. All I did to it, honestly, was add Z-Man rims to it, and I did the Modelshop paint pen and panel line detailer from Tamiya. But as you can see, there it is. This is the 63 Galaxie 500. I'm a big fan of big motors and big cars, so I'm envisioning this does not have a 352 in it. I'm thinking a side oiler 427. The Z-Man rims just look sharp on this, and I just adapted that to the suspension. I took it apart. I did a little bit of dry brushing paint detail for the interior. This was the kit that I picked up at the hobby shop up in Ames as a built promo, and really this is all I did to it. Again, Modelshop paint pen, side spears and trim were done up, and then the tires and rims. But still, it's a nice sharp car. I'm going to send a couple pictures to Dan and see if he can include that in his little picture array once his group build is done. But this car had been sitting on the sidelines for a couple months, and I just said, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead, finish that one up, and get it out of the way. So I hope you like all three of these kits. I've got the chop tee I'm going to start working on. Okay, so I'm looking at this El Camino that I built a number of years back. It's one of the kits I usually keep on my side as an inspiration build for my latest kits. And I was thinking about the questions that were asked primarily by Don, the fat man from Alabama over at Don's Garage. He had a two-part question. One, why did we create our YouTube channels? And two, what did we expect to get from them? I'll answer the second one first.
For the good old American life. For the money, for the glory, and for the fun. Mostly for the money.
In all seriousness, I did create a YouTube channel primarily because I just wanted to share what I build and get some ideas from other people on how to build other kits. I've been watching other people's channels for a number of years. About 5 years back is when I started thinking about doing a channel myself. In addition to model car building, I do restorations on Hot Wheels. I collect Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars, got about 5,000 of those currently. But one day as I was restoring some old Hot Wheels for a friend of mine, he suggested that I check out some of these videos because what I was doing looked a lot like what was on the videos, and why don't I have a channel? So that kind of got me thinking about that. I said, yeah, it'd be kind of cool to have a channel. I was watching other model building channels. When over the past 5 years, I was watching like Doug over at Right On Replicas. I was watching Chris over at HPI Guys. I was watching the Scale Modeling channel. I watched a lot of channels that were out overseas, like Seamus BMW, and also some of the Hot Wheels channels and model car channels that were based in Japan. And looking at the level of detail that they had on that, I thought, man, those guys are so good, and my kits are nowhere near that good. But I get better with each kit. And it doesn't have to be all about super detail. It doesn't have to all be about, I've got all these kind of lights and stuff on the car. It's just a nice, clean box stock build. Show it off to people. Maybe add some plug wires. Maybe add some fuel lines, some brake lines. You know, as you get better with each kit, you want to kind of show that progress. And what better way to show that progress than to videotape? It's no different than when you think about it. As kids grow, we put them up in the doorway, and we put this little mark at the top of their head to see how high they are or how tall they are at the age of 5, 6, 7. And you see how they've grown. Well, it's the same with videos and YouTube. Each video that I've put out, if I've got like a 3 or 4 part video of one kit, you see how I start by sanding the body, by putting sub-assemblies together, by priming, sanding, painting, adding detail, and then showing off the final product. Maybe 2 or 3 kits later, I've done something different that's made the kit stand out a little bit more. And here I am in a month, I'll be coming up on the 1-year anniversary of this channel being launched. So from an idea that I had about 5 years ago, talking with one of my friends and my wife about launching a channel, over the past couple of years, to finally launching one last year, to now, I have almost 800 subscribers. I think that's phenomenal. Thank you very much for everyone who's subscribing. And for those of you who haven't subscribed to the channel, if you can, please do so. I'd love to have you aboard. But that's basically what I'm doing, and that's basically what I'm expecting to get from the channel. I did it because I wanted to share what I built. My expectations were simple: meet like-minded people, get ideas, and get better at what I do, and hopefully inspire other people to do that. For that last part, I believe I have as well, because my former next door neighbor, he's going to start building the kits that he found that his dad had. I've got friends of mine whose kids are watching the channel. They're building the same exact kits that I'm building. I got a couple of friends of mine who, they're not members of the Salvinos JR Club, but they found out that there was a bunch of Salvinos JR's kits over at Hobby Haven in Urbandale that are 20% off, and they said they're going to go over there on payday and pick up a couple of those kits and build them with their kids. And the kids want to build stuff too. So I've inspired some people to build kits. I think that's probably the greatest thing that's happened of it. It was an expectation. I was hoping to inspire somebody, and I have. So with that, that's basically my 2 cents worth on it. The other one that I heard question-wise was, what was the first kit that I built on my YouTube channel? And I knew right away which one it was. It was the Richard Petty 73 Charger. So I did that as part of a multi-build kit series, and it turned out pretty good. So if you get a chance, check out some of my past videos. Go back to 11 months ago when I started building the Petty Charger, and then check out what I've built since, and see, I've gotten better even in 1 year. I've also gotten better at building kits, period. Where I was building 2 or 3 kits a year, last year I built 17. And this year, my goal is to build about 24. I don't want to skimp on the quality, but I've got it now to where I can do sub-assemblies like what Chris over at HPI Guys does. I can get like items painted at the same time. If I know that I want to build with engine wiring detail or brake line detail, I can do that. I've gotten better at researching. So I can basically do 2 or 3 kits at the same time. They might be finished at the same time, but they might be finished within a few weeks of each other too. And who knows? Maybe someday. I've said I'm not a big fan of going to contests, but I think this year I might actually do a contest just to see what it's about. On top of that, I want to continue getting inspired by you. And I will say, to the guy that has the channel called Throttle Power, you've inspired me. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but one of your most recent videos was really cool. You showcased one particular car, and I'm already on the lookout for a model of it so I can build it. And that's going to be one of my secret goals for this year. So just wanted to kind of share that with you. But with that, I'm going to go on ahead and go upstairs. My daughter just came downstairs a few minutes ago saying, "Dad, when are you going to feed me?" Because her birthday was this past Wednesday. She turned 20, and she wants to go out for breakfast. So, priorities, guys, priorities. I'm going to let you go. You have yourself a great rest of the weekend. Catch you in the next video. But wait, there's more. Terry Adams sent me a couple pictures of a trike bike that he just built. He said something quick, something unique, and looking at this thing, man, I think this thing would be a handful on the street. Look at those big meats out back, and I'll tell you, it still looks righteous. I think, Terry, great job. Love the kit. Keep building these kits. Keep sending me pictures. I'll keep posting them. Guys, I hope you like it. And then finally, Larry Landis sent me some pictures of a jet that he's working on. something unique, and I always welcome unique kits to be displayed on the channel. So by all means, whether it's a car, truck, boat, plane, science fiction thing, definitely send me pictures. I'll be more than happy to post these for you. What he built here, and I'm just going to read it to you exactly as he told me. I built this model from a kit by Pioneer in 1/72nd scale. The kit was pretty basic, but at the time, it was the only game in town. This is also the only flying wing that Germany had, as far as he knew. He had some additional features. He opened the canopy to pose it open. He replaced the plastic pitot tube with a brass one. He articulated the nose wheel, added cannons to the wing made from metal tubing. He opened the shell injector ports in the bottom of the wing, made the antenna for the bottom of the wing, and he also added a Pricer figure for the pilot. The gray-violet cover he mixed for the plane, and the paint was applied using an old Binks Ren B single-action airbrush. The exhaust itself, the staining is done in Tester's exhaust metallizer. I've used that one myself. The Tester's metallizers are great when you're doing weathering detail on the kits. And again, this is another fantastic kit from Larry Landis. Again, by all means, send me pictures of stuff that you're building. I will always post them and give you a shout out on this channel. And as always, keep building the cool kits. We'll see you in the next video.